Hey everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel once again. This is Abhishek, your friend but not a financial advisor, and today we are going to talk about one of the best EV stocks out in the EV space. Yes, we are going to talk about NIO stock today. We are going to have some NIO stock analysis and NIO stock predictions and why it's a good time to buy NIO stock at this dip. So is NIO a good buy at this dip or not? Well, to have an answer to this question, do watch the complete video till the end. And I guess you don't mind if I ask you guys for an early like, and if you haven't been the part of the community yet, then don't hesitate guys, just hit that red juicy subscribe button and that notification bell icon so that you get all the latest updates from my channel. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So guys, the first reason why I think, and in my opinion, NIO is a good buy at this dip is because of their recent expansion plans to widen up their recharging and battery swap network. So NIO actually made quite an impression at the Shanghai Auto Show on Monday with an inaugural appearance of its upcoming ET7 luxury sedan. And they also made an announcement of a new plan to provide broader availability of recharging and battery swap services. Now guys, this plan is a 3-year initiative to add battery swap stations and various types of chargers and charging stations in 8 provinces overall and autonomous areas of the country. NIO with it also said and mentioned in a statement that the Power North plan will significantly better the power experience of electric vehicle users in northern China. So this new model, which is the new Power North plan, aims to increase the country's EV market by easing consumer anxiety regarding battery life. It will result in a battery swap station or charger station about every 60 miles on average along highways, and will increase the density of the charging and swapping stations in the urban areas as well. Now the company also said that a vast majority of the tourist attractions will also have such facilities. So this is an amazing plan guys. And guys, this is what I'm talking about. So like you saw the Northern Power plan for NIO, apart from that, they also recently signed up a strategic partnership deal with a Chinese state-owned oil and gas giant called Sinopec Shanghai Petrochemical Limited. They signed up a deal to build up more battery swap stations. So do you see where I'm going this with? They are actually working on broadening up their network for the battery swap station strategy. Yeah, and this deals shows us that they are implementing this strategy for sure. So this will be the first second generation battery swap station for NIO, and it's 201st overall since the first was inaugurated in 2018. Now, the details of this deal are not that clear, they are not out yet, but Sinopec already stated that they aim to have 5,000 battery swap stations in their network by 2025, as they aim to transition to a higher presence in electricity and non-oil business. And from NIO's side, the company's goal, which they already have described as a conservative goal, is to have 500 battery swap stations by the end of 2021. And apart from that guys, NIO recently reached also with an agreement with another state-owned infrastructure company called Beijing Shufa to build more stations in the Beijing area. NIO President Qin Li Hong also said recently that they are aiming to add nearly 100 more third-party partners this year. So we can see that they are just on the verge of expansion and acquisitions. Now, the idea of battery swap stations in the consumers can drive into station with an uncharged battery and have it automatically replaced by a fully charged one in just few minutes. The version 2.0 of this service is to allow the drivers to completely swap their batteries without leaving their car, and can perform up to 312 swaps per day. Yes guys, per day. So this strategy and this mass rollout from NIO is like an amazing strategy, to be honest, for their business. And guys, why NIO's battery swap services is much more efficient in China rather than charging stations? Because in the US, the owners of the EV cars can literally plug their chargers, or even in Europe, we can literally plug our chargers to our charging stations if we have a garage or something like that outside the house. But in China, the majority of the population are more likely to live in apartments with multi-story buildings, yeah, which do not have chargers in a parking garage. And that's why the fast chargers can top off a battery fairly quickly. We know that. A steadier charger can take several hours, several hours. And that's why the battery swapping system is designed to be more convenient. Right now, NIO has a network of 178 battery swapping stations located in and between major cities such as Beijing and Shenzhen. By the end of the year, it plans to have 500 stations. Now, the company also plans to launch its cars in Europe soon, though it hasn't announced it well until now with the battery swapping there. But if a customer manages to run out of a power and get stranded, they can use an app to ask the company to send a mobile charging unit to give a quick charge. Now, guys, isn't this the most convenient way? Like, for example, if your car gets stranded out of nowhere on some road where there is no charging stations far away, then you're literally stuck. But in case of NIO, you can order the app. You cannot order a charging station, right? But you can order a battery swap service at that particular location, and then you just get a new battery in just 3 minutes. The change takes 3 minutes rather than a charging of 30 minutes or even 1 hour. So guys, as we already know that NIO is not a creator, or they didn't invent this battery swap technology or battery swap service. It was actually invented or bought first to the market by an Israeli startup company who then later collaborated with Renault, and then this came into a bigger picture. But anyways, so NIO still appears to be moving fast towards this dominating market, what we see as an EV future of refueling, and it could be shaping up as a supplier of their battery swap services to other manufacturers as well. And this is a really good scope for their business. For example, the company already has an agreement with Ford Motors to allow their Mustang E in China to use these battery swap stations as well. So these different steps, and guys, this expansion into the other scope of business, being in the EV space, is setting NIO apart from their competition and puts them on the road to be much more than just an EV manufacturer, by also becoming a supplier of such a critical infrastructure of one of the biggest economies in the world. And the second reason, guys, why I think that this is a good dip to buy NIO, or this is a good time to buy NIO, or in other words, I'm quite bullish on NIO. Why? Because look at this amazing growth, guys. I mean, look at the numbers. Numbers speaks for themselves. So NIO revenue for the quarter ending 31st 2020 was $1.15 billion, which was a 173% increase year over year. NIO revenue for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2020 was $2.5 billion, which was again a 121% increase year over year growth. And NIO annual revenue for 2020, like we already saw, was $2.5 billion approximately, which was 121% increase from the previous year 2019. And in 2019, their annual revenue was $1.12 billion, which was still a 56% increase from 2018. So guys, even if we take an average year-over-year growth for NIO, we still have a 75% average year-over-year growth for NIO in the last 5 years. So this is what shows me that NIO has an incredible future in front of them. And with all these expansions, with all these deals, they are on the right path, according to me, in my opinion. Just imagine, guys, NIO was nothing 5 or 6 years ago. I mean, people were so skeptical about this company. It was just hovering at $2, $3, and suddenly we have such an amazing company. But this doesn't happen overnight, right? That's why you have to be patient with your investment. Investment is for long term. You are not trading this stock. You are patiently waiting for your investment to grow, and give it time, give it some time. Now, of course, there are some factors which will and can affect NIO's growth, like the semiconductor shortage, which actually affected NIO's production in the last quarter. But of course, guys, this will affect all the EV industry, yeah, not just NIO. But of course, we have to consider these critical factors as well into our investment risk strategy and planning. So that's why this is one of the factors which we should be worried about considering our investment in EV space. So yeah, this factor has to be considered, and let's see how the semiconductor shortage can really influence other EV companies and the 5G companies as well. So this is a critical factor, yes, which I will not deny, and that's why we have to consider the risk margins and risk tolerance for our investments. And that's why, guys, it's quite important for us to keep an eye on this date, April 29th, when NIO will be releasing their first quarter results for 2021. Now, I personally don't think that the semiconductor shortage might have influenced their production by such a big number. They will still be on an year-over-year growth as compared to 2020. But anyways, this is the point that whenever you are investing in a company, you should keep an eye on the quarterly results from the companies, because then you can re-evaluate the company, you can recalculate your fundamentals, and then you can make your further decisions, and then you also have a check on the company whether the company is actually performing according to the forecast or not. I mean, guys, just look at these ratios, just look at the numbers. Price to sales ratio just at 3.71, which is okay in general, in theoretical world it's still high, but guys, we are talking about EV space. And price to book value at 2.12, and enterprise value with respect to its revenue is just sitting under 2. Guys, honestly, I have not seen any other EV company with such amazing undervalued cheap ratios, to be honest. Now guys, I'm not giving you here an intrinsic value for NIO, because that might take another 10 to 15 minutes if I start calculating the forward free cash flow model and give you an intrinsic value. I will do that maybe rather in some other video, but this is just to give you a brief overview that what valuation NIO is presenting us with at this particular time, at the time of this market correction. And guys, trust me, this is just super cheap. Now this is just my point of view, of course, but honestly, practically, I mean, these ratios are damn amazingly cheap considering the valuation they should be worth of, and considering their year-over-year growth. Now the third and the last reason why I think that this is a good time or a good dip to buy NIO, or why I'm becoming more and more bullish on NIO, is that NIO is making a strong brand in China. They are building a strong brand in China. I think NIO is positioning itself very well in terms of consumer demand. Now, products like vehicles or phones are a statement about who you are, and NIO is building a brand that people can identify with. Lee has already stated his views and considers Audi and BMW as the real competition. In other words, luxury cars, interestingly, and luxury brands have outperformed the mainstream models in 2020, capturing $44 of the market share compared to 40% the year before. Now, while Tesla on one hand, for example, are lowering their prices, but on the other hand, NIO has kept its price quite steady and is clearly tackling the high end of the market through some key measures. So guys, first and foremost, the implementation of these battery swap services offers a lot of value and convenience, especially in crowded Chinese cities. Also, NIO has been rolling out their models aggressively. The company already has the EC6, ES6, ES8 and ET7 on the market. And if you guys notice how these models are actually named sequentially using a clear language, which also makes the consumers and give them an option of ease and comparison easily. Also, NIO is taking the Apple Store concept to the next level. So if you guys can notice, they are actually following the Apple strategy and quite successfully. Anyone who owns a pre-ordered NIO get an access to the NIO house. As their core level, they are convenient charging locations, but these spaces are also designed as exclusive lounge areas, office spaces, and anything the customer wants. So guys, all in all, NIO has clearly defined a strategy of targeting the luxury segment and creating a community of devoted fans. And given the fact that they are approaching for these new strategic partnerships for broadening up their battery swap services, I think their business has a solid strategy. So now guys, let's move on to our technical analysis. Okay guys, so here we are on the one-day chart of NIO. So don't get confused with these trend lines. I've drawn these to just give you guys a much better overview so that we know that what we are dealing with. So let's cover this quickly. So this purple line right here, what we see is 50-day moving average, and NIO stock price is of course trading below this 50-day moving average. But on the other hand, this red line what we see here is the 200-day moving average, which actually gives us a bullish sentiment for long term for NIO. So what I can configure from that is that in long term, this 200-day moving average line could act as a support, while this 50-day moving average could be a resistance which NIO has to beat. Now, the other important factor worth noticing is, which might be a bit scary for us investors, is that NIO seems to form a head and shoulders pattern. So shoulder, head and shoulder. And if it will cross this 30-day, not the 30-day, but this support level, which is at $30, then this could be a bearish reversal, guys. So we see that that's why I have drawn this bold line at $30, which seems to be a good support level. So if stock price comes at this level and crosses this level, then it might be a really bearish trend. But let's see. So this is the another support level, the temporary support level, which NIO has been testing quite a few times, and you can see that this support level and the 200-day moving average is coinciding with each other, and it seems to be bouncing back from this level. But anyways, let's see. The last candle was closing above this support level, so I think that this is quite an amazing thing to see. And apart from that, we see that the RSI is curling up a bit, so it's not oversold, not overbought, but it's definitely in between. It's a good signal. And here we see that the MACD, we don't have a divergence, we don't have a crossover. So okay, I would say that it's nothing to be proud about or nothing to be worried about either. So yeah, that's what I would like to show you guys, that these are the two levels which we should be watching for, especially the $30 support level. And yeah, so this is what the chart looks like for now. So for me, this price is still, like, in my opinion, it's still a really good entry point. As you can see right here, that this is a good buy at this price, especially considering their growth and the future prospects, what they're holding. Apart from this worry, which is in the EV sector and also the 5G sector, which is the shortage on the semiconductor, which is, yes, an alarming situation, to be honest. But anyways, you have to decide your own investment strategies, guys. According to me, this still seems to be a fair value for NIO, but of course, if it drops below this, then yeah, I would be bulking up on it. So that's all, guys. That's all for NIO. So that's it, guys. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and ciao.